Control is a game I knew very little about coming in. An old friend of mine was super into it, but I only had a very surface level understanding of the premise. A third-person shooter that takes a lot of inspiration from the SCP universe sounded intriguing, but my experience with story-focused shooters is quite limited. I had my ups and downs with this game, but ultimately, it's a game I would highly recommend that left me excited for more. You play as Jessie Faden, a girl whose brother had been taken by a secret government organization called the Federal Bureau of Control after the two of them found a supernatural slide projector as kids. Years later, she tracks them to an anomalous building called the Oldest House and comes face to face with the head of this organization, who immediately kills himself. With no director left, Jessie has to take up the role and put an end to a mysterious force called the Hiss, turning people into zombies of sorts. What a hook. I almost immediately became invested in this world, and what the hell is going on? The feeling of being the small fish forced to clean up this big pond is overwhelming, and while I wish the game's writing played into that a little more, the environments pick up the slack to sell this feeling that you're not where you're supposed to be. Scattered around the Oldest House are documents, correspondence, case files, etc. that tell you more about the forces at play. This is kinda standard, but really what I really liked about this is how it plays with multimedia. Some of these items are live action video seamlessly integrated into the world, whether it be research demonstrations or puppet shows. It adds to the strange and eerie vibe of the game so much. The amount of information the game threw at me was overwhelming at times, but every time I saw another one of these tapes, I was just enamored. I haven't seen games do this since like the Sega CD. If you want to learn more about the world beyond what you need to know to just play the game, there's a lot to discover and research, and I have fun stopping sometimes to just check all the files I didn't read when I picked them up. My only gripe with the game story-wise is that it sort of abruptly ends. I wasn't super satisfied with the ending, but the world building is clearly where they were trying to make this all shine, and there I think they nailed it. But of course, the story is only one half of the game, and the gameplay, I'm a little more mixed on. The gunplay at first is very interesting, using a rechargeable pistol, but as enemies get tankier, it feels less and less good to use. There are other weapons you can unlock, most of which I admittedly didn't use, so maybe I can't really talk here, but you still can only have 2 equipped at a time, so your options are still way more limited compared to something like Half-Life. This, combined with the lack of enemy variety, caused me to burn myself out midway through the game. However, throughout the game you'll collect objects of power, which grant you new abilities. Some of these are defensive in nature, but some of these let you play way more aggressive, like slamming into people with great force or just throwing shit around. I started using these to play way more aggressive, like an action game, and I immediately started having way more fun. Enemies drop health pickups too, so being bold and playing aggressive feels so rewarding. Exploration is of course also a major focus of this game, and the environments are all great. Despite all being a weird office building, every area is distinct, and sometimes I'd hit an area out of nowhere that just made my jaw drop. I adored these little segments where you get to a new area, you have to solve these cute hotel puzzles. It's great! There's plenty of secrets to find all over the place. Even after beating the game, I've barely even scratched the surface. The only gripe I really have with the exploration aspect is that the map doesn't really convey vertical space well, which is a huge problem in places like the research division, where areas that often have upstairs and downstairs or loop in on themselves. A really funny thing about this game is that while I was playing it, it just didn't quite click, and I just wanted to get through it. But now that I've finished it, I can't stop thinking about hopping back in. The only thing about the post-game is that you don't really get any new abilities to play with, even after defeating the altered items, and that's something that I hope that the announced sequel will address. More toys to play with, please. But now that I've seen a taste of what the Oldest House has to offer, I will definitely be diving back into its secrets.